past 10 years of doing this channel and hundreds of concerts, I've gotten to talk with people and have conversations, at meet and greets, after concerts and before concerts, about everything under the sun. Military service, hunting, fishing, politics, and some people just want prayer. And I would come home and be like, babe, I tell my wife, what's the deal with people wanting prayer? And she's like, look, you've made it clear that you're a brother in Christ and that you're open to that, and that's who you are, and people feel comfortable, and I think it's awesome. But I had to shift gears to get myself in that mindset, because country music, especially Nashville, my gosh, like a dark world, y'all. And so I felt little by little God kind of calling me out of that and into what I'm doing now, which is the most fulfilling of all. But you get tons of questions asked to you. I've prayed over drunk people, and I've written Bible verses on people who are just vulgar, just blah, 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 all over the place. I'd sign the back of their t-shirt and write a Bible verse, and when they sober up, I just always imagine them cracking up the Bible the next morning, like, what's Buddy writing this Bible verse on? What's this all about, And I just think it's really cool that God's called me into this territory. But y'all are going to get this question, because I've gotten this question. And it's the one question I believe that stops Christians in our tracks. And the question is, do you really think that anybody who doesn't believe how you believe is going to hell? I mean, good Lord, right? That's a pretty hostile question. It's coming from a hostile place. And I'd rather talk about politics with my Aunt Ginger, the raging leftist, at Thanksgiving dinner than answer that question, because it's just uncomfortable. Do I believe that anybody, who doesn't believe like me is going to hell? That's pretty hardcore. So there's a guy named Greg Koukl who answered this years back, and probably the best way I've ever heard it answered. And he basically said, it's not about winning the argument. It's about being truthful in your answer. Because telling them, yes, that's true, stops the whole conversation, it pisses him off, and he walks away. He basically said, it's not about winning the argument, it's about being truthful in your answer. Just telling them, yes, that's true, just pisses him off, it ends the conversation, and he walks away. That's no good. So he said the only way to help somebody to understand is to get them to put the pieces on the table, instead of you putting the pieces on the table for them. So this is really cool. Watch this. We're going to ask you 2 quick questions. Question number 1. Do you think that people who commit moral crimes should be punished? That's an easy yes. Any Christian, Jew, Muslim, atheist, agnostic is all going to agree on that. So when that happens, they just put a piece on the table. Got me? Question number 2, have you ever done any wrong things? Well, nobody's ever perfect. We've all messed up. Matter of fact, if you follow me around for a day, you're going to find 1,632 things imperfect about me in just the first hour. There's a long list. The answer is going to be obviously, yes, I've done wrong things. Now, he just put another piece on the table for you. Now that you got that, he knows that people who commit moral crimes should be punished. He also knows that he's guilty himself of doing wrong. Do you tell him now that he's a sinner? No, he just told me. Do you point out that he's under judgment? No, he just told me that as well. So now that he laid those pieces on the table, I feel like I got something to work with. So Greg Koukl goes, now imagine a judge, okay? And he's about to lower the gavel on both of us because we're guilty of doing wrong things ourselves. And we know we're screwed, right? Then the judge says, hold on, boys, wait just a second. Are y'all interested in any kind of pardon at all? Well, when you know you're guilty, I mean, any offer of forgiveness you're going to jump at, right? Matter of fact, you're going to leap forward. Of course, Judge. I mean, I don't have to do 25 years in a prison cell. Please tell me what pardon that you've got for me, because I want to hear about it. Then you explain to him that Jesus is the pardon for our judgment. And it's like the judge just walked right off the courtroom floor and he took the guilty punishment for you. The judge is the only one who's ever going to be able to get you out of this mess. And then you tell him that Jesus is the judge and he is the only way out. So there's no sidestepping going on when you answer it like this. There's no trickery. But here's the deal, y'all. Religion has created a whole lot of smoke for a whole lot of people. And it's not their fault. But if you use this analogy, it can change everything because it's going to finally help people see through it. So to answer this question that he asked at the very beginning, yes, the real answer is Jesus is the only way. That's John 14:6. But if you're dealing with somebody who's very angry and hostile, like I have, and you've probably been there before, okay, don't get mad at them and arrogantly try to win the argument, because there's no points in that. Make them see through all this stuff using this example that I just told you about. God is holy and we're all corrupted. All of us, especially in every single person inside the church that goes every single Sunday morning. They're corrupted too. But we all need that pardon from the judge is what I'm saying. So Remember, nobody cares about your debating skills. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about your intelligence. And unfortunately, the church has screwed up this truth for millions and millions of people with extra traditions and their cultures and all that kind of stuff that's just gone sideways instead of loving people enough to explain it to them with some dadgum common sense, if that makes any sense at all. I don't beat anybody over the head with the Bible, but this whole thing started for me about 10 years ago, little by little by little, and I had to get good at answering this question. So if you do, and when you do, you will be prepared. I hope this helps you out. God bless you. Merry Christmas.